Howdy y'all, I am Ice Gold, and if you're watching this, I'm sure by now you have heard that yes, at long last, after 16 years, Wizard101 is coming to console. And I think that, on paper, this was a really, really great idea, and I'm really happy that they're finally springing for it. I'm really, really glad that they are, finally doing it. And although it might not be out for a little while, I think they're shooting for the end of 2024, maybe early 2025. I don't know the timetable on that, but I do think that they are going to try and get it out as soon as they can. It's just that there's all right, I don't want to sound like the New York Times whenever they talk about Kamala Harris, but this new expansion in how Wizard101, I guess, operates and, provides content to its players has a lot of flaws. And yeah, I really do sound like the New York Times. Put that on the pitch bot. Anyway, so they're on the subreddit. I know, the damn subreddit, right? Y'all all hate it, but over there have been a lot of posts talking about, it's coming to console, but there's a little bit of a problem, here and there, and a lot of people have made videos about this. The Frenzied Gamer has made one that I would recommend watching. He does cover quite a bit in that, but basically what it's boiling down to is, and this is still very early on in the development phase, so who knows, maybe they'll I don't know if renege is the right word, but consider what we think about some of these problems. And you are on your mount with your wand. That actually looks badass. I wish they would do that just regularly. But let's talk about some of the drawbacks that a change like this, which should be really, really good, is inevitably going to have. And this post says, I want to start this off by saying I care for and support KingsIsle and don't want them harassed or to think that this is meant negatively. I love our community and only want what's best for all of us. Amen, brother. And I keep seeing a lot of posts and comments about the console version, and I want to give mine and what I feel is many others' shared opinions. So, we don't have a lot of info, and things could still change, but with that being said, here's why I think players are unhappy about the console port's handling so far. The first one up is previous handling of features. Think about the EU servers and the Steam client and how those have sort of divided up the community. It's like when we initially heard that Wiz was coming to Steam, we were all like, oh, that could really help it out. It's like Steam. Steam is Steam. Everybody knows Steam. So Wiz on Steam would have been really, really great, and they sprung for it. But you don't hear much about it anymore. And we're really just afraid of this. And this is the biggest problem that is presented with this. And that is a lack of crossplay with PC. And this is something that you've probably heard about by now as well, and I guess when I say crossplay, I mean it's like you see Skylar here. Like, if she was on the console version, I would not be able to see her because I'm on the PC version. So that's sort of the dilemma that this poses. And if there's no crossplay, then ultimately what's going to happen is it's going to go over like Steam, it's going to go over like the EU servers where there just aren't people playing. And in a game like this, I mean, if I had membership, if the website wasn't made of spaghetti code, if I had membership, I would be doing this video in the Black Licorice Forest and Caramel right now, because Judge Veg is a boss that you physically cannot solo due to bugs. So that is going to be like a roadblock for people who can't find a team. And, with no crossplay with PC players, console players are going to have to solo the entire game. And while that's not, too terribly hard, I won't lie, it can be challenging for a new player, and, sometimes people just want to play their own way. They don't want to, grind for moons for the best stats. And that's another thing, it's like, how are you going to find a team up for Waterworks? Like, I've already soloed that one time on an ice, and I hated that, so don't really wish that on anybody else. But yeah, no crossplay is the biggest problem that is being posed here, and I think that if the devs want this console port to not be dead on arrival, because it really is a great idea, and so was putting it on Steam, but it's like this is one of those things that everybody has wanted to see for a while, and if they butcher it, you know, that's another widely requested thing from the community that they just can't do because they've already done it and it flopped. So the best thing that they can do is they can just work and add crossplay, and I know that just coming out of my mouth without like a technical perspective at all probably pisses off a lot of people, but like you get the point. I know it's not easy to create crossplay, but if you're gonna launch this, that is one of those things that is an absolute must. And I mean, it's like, I mean, think about Minecraft. You know, it's like Minecraft only recently got crossplay because third-party developers made a plugin called Geyser, and servers have begun to use that, and that's how people play on the Bedrock edition. Bedrock being just all the consoles, and the Java edition, they made that cross-compatible. But that was a third-party dev team doing that. That was not Mojang. That was not the real developers of the game. And for Wiz, where there is, you know, not player-made servers, and everything is all on like just the official King's House servers, it's like there will not be a way to create crossplay, and it is really on the developers here to do that. And if that means delaying it a little bit, I mean, we can wait. I mean, we don't want this to be like a dead on arrival type feature. And if they were to merge the service with Steam, then okay. I mean, you know, you're onto something. It's like that's what the Java edition and Bedrock edition of Minecraft do. It's like they are still separate, barring the servers running Geyser, but they at least have their own communities. At least it's only 2 and not like 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 22. So that is it's a problem that we run into. And I know that I yap a lot when it comes to this, but the bottom line, just so I can move on, is just crossplay needs to happen. And if it can't, at least merge the servers with, you know, Steam, with a mobile port when that, like, if that comes out rather. And yeah, that's kind of all I got. It's like, if you're gonna do this and you can't do crossplay, at least let there be crossplay between the lesser versions of the game. So I don't know, maybe I'm talking into the void with that. The next point that this person brings up is a lack of clarification, and they say the players that want a console are PC players first and foremost and have waited years for this feature, supporting the devs and the game along the way, yet they feel like they are not being acknowledged. And yeah, I mean, personally, I don't own a console, so it's not gonna affect me too much. But there are people who want to play Wiz, like with via Xbox or PlayStation, that type of deal, but they can't, just because. So yeah, I mean, but I've been through all that song and dance. So point number 3. Further division, splitting the already divided fanbase even further apart by forcing the 3 servers to have full separation, US, EU, and console. It's like I was saying, it's like there's already just so much, I guess, like there being no crossplay makes the game look deader when it's really not. It's like there can be a lot of people playing on the Steam and console and EU ports, but if they can't play together, then what's the point, you know? And it's also just added unnecessary server cost, and we already know how the Wiz servers are like, so I don't need to say more on that. So 4 is going to be gardening, farming, and questing. A full restart being possible, or even forced to play on console, means thousands of hours of farming pets, snacks, and gear, and along with questing being mandatory for those that wish to have a similar experience to their PC edition and play with friends and family. So the questing thing is, like, it is its own thing. This is a long game. There's a lot of content to go through on the storyline. And what else is there is that it's like all of the things. It's like if I was on my ice right now, I would show you all my couch potato garden. Because that took time That took time to make. That took time to set up the plots. That took time to like farm all the plants and all that. And it's like double pet XP, like doubling seeds was already retired by the time I had started on this. So you can imagine. So farming all of that is just going to take so long, and people will not want to do that again. It's the same with pets, and I think I don't need to drone on for another like 6 minutes about that. So yeah, you get the point. Number 5 on this person's post is saying the loss of community. And the number of people who leave PC for the console servers will be small but noticeable, and that would impact realms, team-ups, and noticeably making the game feel quieter. And it's like I was saying before. It's like if people do leave the PC version and they make console accounts, I don't really see that happening too often, given, you know, having to restart, but it probably will happen on at least a few occasions, and that's, it's just, I mean, it's just further splitting the community, because then it's like the people that, you know, pack up everything and move are going to be like, well, I restarted on this new server and sank all of this time and money and effort into it, but it's dead now because nobody's playing it, so how about that? And they'll feel like a fraud, so that's tough. Lastly, though, the person says, fear. Longtime fans will voice their opinions on something as different as this change is because we care for the game deeply and are afraid something will go wrong because we want the best for our community and our game. And yeah, it's like we just want to see this. We want to see this venture succeed as a player base. We do want to see King's Isle launch a successful console port, successful mobile port in the future maybe. But it's like they've got to get it right on the first try. They can't, because they're building up all this hype that is rightfully deserved. But if they're going to build up all this hype, they need to actually follow through and do their thing and actually make it to the player's satisfaction. And that, I think, is where they're falling a little short. But there is still time, and if it means a delay, then sure, go for it. Have a ball. Just do your thing. We just want y'all to get this right, and we want to see the game thrive like it once did. The game is 16 years old come Monday, and yeah, I mean, I can speak for everybody. I feel like when I say that I want to see this game thrive again, and this is one of the ways that they can do it, but only if they do it right. And doing it right is the whole problem, and they still have time. So hopefully everybody talking about this can persuade them into doing the right thing with it and ensuring there is crossplay and just making sure that it is the best version of itself that it can be with this new console port. And once they have the tech for that, they lay the groundwork for, you know, connecting Steam, for connecting the EU servers. They can have transfer packets to finally merge those two together, and they can have they can have just everything all on the same thing. It's like they can have Steam, they can have console, they can have PC, they can have the EU, and everything is all together on one set of servers. And that's, what more could you ask for? You know, it's like, that would take a lot of work on a technical standpoint, but if they got it done, I mean, this game could come back if they did it. I mean, it's alive, but it could come back. And the people who played back then in, you know, 2010, 11, 12, they know what that means. And that would just be I'm at a loss. I got nothing. But the point's been made. It could be what it was, and the devs just have to not mess it up. So that is where I think I'm going to end this. So thank y'all for watching. I've been Ice Gold. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave the 50 comments for the algorithm. My Discord is down in the description if you want to chat with me some more. And I will see y'all later.